Hey guys, what's going on? This is Warbringer Jalen. I wanted to do a discussion video today, and I also wanted to showcase this new guy. This guy's name's Cosmo. Cosmo here is going to be the face of the channel from now on, and I know that's kind of a bit of a shock, you know, for some people who may not have seen him yet on Twitter, but I want to make this channel a lot more positive, so we're going to be making some changes here. But before that, I just wanted to quickly go over that, like, you know, the things I've been working on. I've had a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of artwork and been job hunting, trying to get updates to the live stream as much as possible. And honestly, just to be quite honest, I've been a little bit lost for quite a while now because I didn't know where I really wanted to take the channel for a while, because most of the stuff that I did was surrounded around World of Warcraft, which now essentially I've moved on from that, and New World's around the corner. And I've been thinking really hard and trying to come up with, you know, what I want from myself, you know, videos that I can be more proud of and more, you know, happy about, because the videos that I've made before haven't been the best. I know some people would disagree with that, but it's cloaked in my mind around negativity, and I want these videos to be a lot more positive moving forward. So anyone that looks at the channel, and you can look at it right now if you'd like, you can probably see that a lot of videos that I've made in the past, a lot of them are gone. And that includes, you know, trash talking WoW videos, or it's like leaving me right now. Trash talking WoW videos and incompleted playthrough videos, which, if there's any of those out there that I just started, like for instance, I had a Dark Souls one, I had a Demon Soul, or no, not Demon Souls, Castle Crashers, and just never finished them, then I took those down as well, because I think that just looks tacky to me. And essentially, I want this channel to have a bit of a fresh start, a bit of a resurgence, a rebirth, if you would say so. And what I'd like to do moving forward is animation videos discussing things like, you know, slice of life videos, gaming, art, maybe some events that have happened in my life, maybe some events that have happened in real life that I feel the need to discuss about. But primarily ones that I want to, you know, the feeling I want people to have when they open up my videos is opening up videos so, you know, it can lift up their spirits and help them have a better day, because that's something that, you know, gives me a sense of fulfillment, rather than just, like, you know, making a video about somebody that maybe I had a bit of an altercation with in a video game, and then trash talking them and then getting that self-satisfaction, like, for that day, maybe 2 days or whatever, and essentially making someone else's day worse. And it doesn't matter to me now, like, regarding whether or not that they deserve it or not, but I want to be better, and I want to put out a better message, because the end goal for me with this is to create a community and a place of positivity that brings people together, rather than trying to, you know, bring people together and then bring them up, rather than try and go out of my way to tear them down and make them feel bad or whatever. Because with that goal in mind, you know, I had to think about the previous goal that I had, which was essentially, you know, put up this video, make this person feel bad, and the actual thing that ends up happening because of that is you end up with this endless war and this endless arguing, and just it's never ending. The goal is lost eventually, and you don't, there's like this, it's a goal with it's a long process with literally no goal in sight, because it's a never-ending war. And, you know, I know this is coming from the person named Warbringer, but at the same time, I'd like for the wars that we go on to be a bit more of a positive one. And I know that, you know, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but, you know, the war against, you know, mental health issues, the war against depression, and trying to bring people up and fighting against those things that actually matter and would actually be better for people, rather than, you know, the quick gotcha, haha, whatever, which, you know, those are funny from time to time, but, you know, I don't want that to be me anymore. So the things I wanted to push forward on this channel just moving forward in general is, for me, personal goals that I have is, eventually, first things first, let's be realistic. Let's do baby steps. The first thing I'd like to do, 200 subs on YouTube. That's not an unfeasible goal to me. 300 followers on Twitch. I recently hit a milestone, for me personally, of 700 people on Twitter. And I'd like to push that to 800, which, by the way, Twitter, regardless of what you feel about Twitter and a negative place or whatever, I want my Twitter to, from now on, be a more positive place. And yeah, we'll make comments and jokes and ha-has and stuff like that about, like, things that are happening in the world. But I'm not going to have, a long drawn out argument with people about, back and forth like I kind of used to. Like, again, I wanted to move away from that. The other goal that I had in mind was, building a community with positivity as its foundation. And I feel like a lot of people in the gaming industry are starting to question this notion. And I don't know if this is just the MMORPG, it very well could be, but it feels like a lot of people are starting to question why there's such a heavy amount of toxicity in these video games and why this has to be a thing. And yes, there's a lot of people who also take that word toxicity and they apply it to anything negative that happens to them personally, rather than just trying to think about the situation and just think of it as a, maybe it's just a negative situation, it's not toxic, but, like, for me personally, toxicity is such a fluid word within the gaming industry that it's hard to place exactly what it is, and everyone has their own personal definitions. Like, even if you ask someone like a big streamer or a big gamer or anything like that, what is toxicity, I guarantee you everyone's definition isn't going to be the same, and even my definition isn't the same. Like, for instance, here's my example for toxicity. I feel like in games that are like PvP oriented, trash talking is fine, because trash talking is, amongst people, like, that's going to be a thing that naturally happens. That's something that you can't escape from. But it's when it goes beyond that I start considering that it's toxic. Like, for instance, someone doing stuff like doxing or IRL threats and shots or whatever, or, making comments about you, the way you look, and all those other things. Like, those things I consider to be, like, legitimately toxic, because it goes beyond that boundary of, the circle that you're associating yourselves with. Now, there's definitely toxicity within those boundaries, of course, too, that ends up turning into harassment. But again, that word is so fluid that it's hard for me to place it on anything specific, and it hits such a gray area that everyone has their own different interpretations of what that is. And I do want this to be a place where we can, for the gamers who wanting to look for a much more positive experience, a lot better in terms of how we treat people, how we act amongst each other. That's what I want to try to create for that. For the art side of people, I know that there's a lot of people who are depressed and heavy on themselves, which, it's good to be your own critic when you're doing artwork, but it's also really bad for you to devalue yourself. There's a difference between, like, it's being like, ha ha ha, this looks so bad. Like, which, by the way, if anyone was to ask me at the beginning of this art piece, I was actually, like, in my head, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this looks so silly, this looks so weird. But I don't know where it is in the video now, but I hope you guys can see that the beginning is a completely different product than what you get to at the end. You have to mold it. An art piece, I forget who said this, but an art piece is bad until it is good. And it's your job to mold it and sculpt it to the point that makes you happy, no matter how long that takes. And even then, stepping away is something that's very... I'm rambling. I apologize. I do want people to feel good about their artwork. So stuff that I'd like to do on this channel as well is promoting artworks, promoting positivity, uplifting people in their artwork, and as well tutorial videos on things that I know, which, by the way, not a professional artist. I'm actually fairly new in the field, but I'm wanting to do my part in adding to the art world and adding to the positivity that can be out there. So for me as well, with both of these things in mind, I'm doing this as well because I want to push myself past my own personal barriers, and as well as push myself to the limit in terms of like what I can do. Because the thing that I don't want to do later in life is then question myself and say, you know, what if I entertain the idea of actually doing, you know, YouTube videos or Twitch stuff or whatever, or just, you know, taking control of the things that I want in life, instead of like, you know, conforming to all the things that I see around me, which by the way, I don't want it to make anything sound or feel like political, like down with the system, bro, down with the system. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But I do want to take control of my life, and I want to make it, you know, I want to do something with it. I don't want to, you know, fall in the same categories as other people and everybody else. Not to put myself on a higher pedestal or anything like that, but I do want to, I want to make a difference, I guess is what I'm saying. Everybody does, but a lot of people don't chase that dream. Well, I'm starting right now to start to realize that I'm very well capable of doing it. And people will say that's ego, or some people will say that's ego, but for me, I'm just saying that because I have confidence in myself, in my ability to go after the goals that I want to. And this is one of the things I want to do. I do want to make a difference, and I want to make the difference in the things that I'm passionate about, which is both art and video games. Both of those things I'm extremely passionate about. Music too, but that's going to have to come later because, again, I don't want to stretch myself too thin across all these different things. The YouTube channel, the artwork, the Twitch channel. I don't want to spread myself out too thin. So that's about it. Guys, I appreciate you all. I love you all. And I hope you enjoy the speed art video. And I hope you enjoy the future content that we make. I'll see you guys next time.